Despite not being wealthy at first, Rockefeller eventually rose to become one of the richest men in the world. Tech billionaires like Elon Musk and Bill Gates are at the top of the list of the richest men alive today. In reality, though, the richest businessman to ever exist passed away about a century ago. One of the richest men in present times is still billionaire John D. Rockefeller. He came from humble roots and founded Standard Oil in 1870. Hello and welcome to Think Business. In today's video, we'll examine the enormous economic empire that John D. Rockefeller built when he established Standard Oil. So let's get straight into the video. One of the richest men in the world, Rockefeller appeared to be a monster to many who read the scathing pieces. But he distributed the majority of his income in ways that were carefully considered to maximize benefit. He was taught to give a portion of his money to the church and charity as a young child, and he has done that his entire life. He founded a number of organizations with his son, John D. Rockefeller Jr., to advance research, medicine, education, and the arts. He enjoyed giving dimes to kids he encountered on a personal basis. Early life and education. The Standard Oil Company, which dominated the oil industry and was the first significant American corporate trust, was founded by American entrepreneur and philanthropist Rockefeller. Rockefeller was the second of 6 children born to the snake oil salesman and traveling physician William Big Bill Avery Rockefeller and Eliza Davison Rockefeller. He was the eldest son and second of 6 children. He relocated to Moravia, New York, with his family before moving to Oswego, New York in 1855, where he enrolled to Oswego Academy. In 1853, the family moved to Strongsville, Ohio, a hamlet close to Cleveland. 6 years later, following attendance at and later abandonment from Cleveland Central High School, one business class at Folsom Mercantile College, and employment as a bookkeeper, the 6 children and the family traveled from farm to farm in Pennsylvania before settling in Ohio. In 1855, Rockefeller dropped out of high school to enroll in a 3-month, 6-month business course. He then accepted a job paying $3.57 a week. For 3 months, he wasn't even compensated. But by 1859, he had $1,000 in savings. He obtained a second $1,000 loan from his father. Do you know what he did with that cash? The $2,000 served as a seed for Rockefeller to create massive multi-million-dollar wealth. At his height, he owned 90% of the oil produced in the U.S., making him the richest individual in the nation. Up to the development of electricity, the entire nation relied on oil for lighting, and following the invention of the automobile, it was utilized as fuel. Additionally, Rockefeller expanded his control over the railroad sector, which was responsible for moving his oil across the nation. The first notable business trust in the United States was Standard Oil. Rockefeller transformed the petroleum sector and played a crucial role in both extensively dispersing and significantly lowering the cost of producing oil through business and technological advancements. Legacy. Federal antitrust laws, as well as regulations bolstering unions, are unquestionably among Rockefeller's most significant contributions. It's understandable that many people during and after Rockefeller's lifetime chastised him for the unconventional ways he built his money. Still, millions of people have profited from his commercial activities and charitable endeavors. Promote the well-being of humanity across the world is still the Rockefeller Foundation's stated goal. He also founded Rockefeller University and the University of Chicago, originally the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research. His descendants continue to carry out his legacy. In addition to business offices, well-known establishments like Radio City Music Hall and the Rockettes, the Rainbow Room, an outdoor skating rink, famous yearly towering Christmas tree, and the television studios for Saturday Night Live and The Tonight Show. John D. Rockefeller Jr. built the renowned Art Deco Rockefeller Center in Manhattan. Nelson Eldridge Rockefeller, the grandson of John D. Rockefeller, was the 41st Vice President of the United States under President Gerald Ford and a 4-term Republican governor of New York State. Although John D. Rockefeller, a wealthy businessman, was both adored and despised, there's no denying his significance as the primary architect of the Standard Oil monopoly and a renowned philanthropist. The Rockefeller Foundation's activities, as well as an ongoing institution he built like the University of Chicago and Rockefeller University, ensured that his legacy endures today. Originally known as the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, he still holds titles as one of the wealthiest people in the modern era. A legendary figure on Wall Street and one of the most powerful people in history, he was a merciless businessman who showed no mercy to his rivals. Now, before we move ahead, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep bringing more informative and fun videos for you. Your little contribution means a lot to us. Important achievements. Strategic viewpoint. The Cleveland oil refineries were all under the authority of Standard Oil, which Rockefeller, Andrews, and Flagler founded in 1870. Rockefeller was very versed in risk management techniques. He was aware that oil speculators stood to lose a lot of money if they were unsuccessful, despite the possibility that they could make enormous gains if they hit a deposit. Because of this, he deliberately focused on the refining industry, where profits were lower but more steady. A unique kind of trust. The 9-member board of trustees was given authority over Standard Oil in 1881, and Rockefeller served as its chairman. This unique trust was created by him and his partners, who exchanged their individual interests for shares in the trust. Rockefeller now had centralized authority over all corporate boards within his conglomerate and the right to cast veto votes. Even lower costs, decreased kerosene prices, and industry uniformity were among the initial advantages. Now that it possessed the resources and assets necessary, Rockefeller's corporation could build or acquire pipelines and other types of infrastructure on a scale that had previously been unimaginable. Research and manufacturing. Chemists working at Standard Oil came up with strategies for expanding the sorts and quality of combustible fuels, as well as techniques for turning waste into useful materials. This implied that the crude oil extracted from the earth was refined into a variety of goods, including diesel fuel, varnish, Vaseline, and toothpaste. The corporation expanded its global economies of scale as the cost of manufacturing these new items decreased. Additionally, Rockefeller found ways to utilize the typically discarded oil waste by employing them to make lubricating oils, petroleum jellies, paraffin wax, and others. To establish a monopoly, Rockefeller started gradually eradicating the fierce competition in the oil sector because he saw it as a destructive effect. Starting in the 6-week period known as the Cleveland Massacre in 1872, when he acquired 22 of 26 competing refineries at incredibly low prices, he used significant profits to buy out rivals. Rockefeller did not only use his substantial cash reserves, but also the South Improvement Company, a covert agreement with the 3 major railways supplying Cleveland. How much time did Standard Oil have a monopoly? In 1870, Rockefeller and his friends Samuel Andrews and Henry H. Flagler established Standard Oil. Within 2 years, the business had established a monopoly over oil refinement in the Cleveland region. The business was recognized in 1881 as a pioneering trust, which enabled it to grow swiftly by constructing or acquiring oil pipelines and other infrastructure. By 1882, it practically controlled the American oil market. The Sherman Antitrust Act was created by Congress in 1890 to dissolve Standard Oil in response to the federal government's disapproval of the situation. A protracted conflict developed, and the government ultimately prevailed in a Supreme Court decision in 1911. So for 19 years, Standard Oil was basically a national monopoly. So what are your thoughts about the empire that John D. Rockefeller built when he established Standard Oil? Tell us in the comment section below. And if you guys like this video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you don't want to miss out on any new future videos, then make sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you are notified the next time we upload a video on the latest. Thanks for watching.